So it's the weekend, and we were itching for a quick getaway. Living in Southwest Florida, St. Augustine seemed like the perfect destination. I've heard so much about its old-world charm, cobblestone streets, and centuries-old architecture. And let me tell you, this city's got soul. We got there at night, but there was no way we were going to waste time. So we booked ourselves into the Ghost and Gravestones tour. Yes, a spooky nighttime ride through St. Augustine's haunted
Spirits that
past.
don't realize they've passed on from illness within that fence line. Now another such apparition can be seen in the city gates on my driver's side of the trolley. She's a little girl named Elizabeth, seems so vividly as she's waving to oncoming cars and tourists. If you find yourself there and see a shadowy figure, be sure to say hello to her.
The tour was cleverly laced with humor, just enough to keep things light for the squeamish. We visited spots like the old jail, Tolamato Cemetery, and the old drugstore, hearing eerie tales wrapped in centuries of legend.
I'd like to greet you upon entry. There are three in particular that I do want to warn you guys about in advance, though, because they come across as a little bit more apprehensive. The first one, his name is the Crawler. He does exactly what you'd expect him to do. He crawls on the floors, the walls, the ceilings. I will say he only ever hangs out inside of solitary confinement, and the only other time that we've seen him anywhere outside of that is outside of the jail on the back patio, which I will not be taking you to. You also have the option of not going into solitary confinement because we do go into maximum security, which is where that cell is, but I do not recommend going inside of that room, which is why the door is shut.
Next day, we hopped on the Old Town Trolley Tour. It's honestly the best way to get a good overview of the city. The guides are full of stories and jokes, and the pass lets you hop on and off at 22 stops. Some of our favorites? The Grand Flagler College, the quirky Leitner Museum, and of course, the legendary Fountain of Youth. The legendary Fountain of Youth, discovered by Ponce de Leon, or so the legend says. This mystical spring has been sought after for centuries. At the center of the room, the natural spring bubbles gently, housed in a simple stone basin. Visitors are handed a small plastic cup to take a sip of the mineral-rich water. Will it grant you eternal youth, or just a slightly sulfuric aftertaste? Only one way to find out. Well, tastes like history. There's also this gigantic globe showing how early explorers viewed the world. Wild proportions, missing continents. Makes you appreciate Google Maps.
By means of control lights, I now call your attention to the course sailed by Columbus in 1492, when he landed on San Salvador and went on to discover other islands. The second voyage of great importance was that of Columbus in 1493.
Walking down St. George Street was one of my favorite parts. It's vibrant, colorful, and full of life. Great for people watching. We passed through the original city gates, those arched coquina walls, straight into history. There's even the oldest wooden schoolhouse in the US here. It's small, but it's still standing after hurricanes and centuries. We explored the Pirate and Treasure Museum, where we saw real pirate weapons, gold doubloons, and even got to touch a 400-year-old treasure chest. Right beside it is the Colonial Quarter, where you can watch live musket fire. Blacksmithing, and
Up until now, I kind of been ignoring it.
even climb a watchtower for a bird's eye view of the city. Now here's a tip. If you're riding the trolley, don't skip the St. Augustine Distillery and San Sebastian Winery. You get free tastings.
Vodka here. I have it paired with the mule mix made with fresh ginger, lime, cane sugar, and just a little dash of cayenne pepper to warm everything up. Whenever you're ready, please help yourselves. Enjoy.
Citrus inspired. Then I do one part of that tonic mix, and there's your fresh quinine, sugar, water, lime juice.
Cheers to that. Dinner was at the famous Columbia restaurant. Even with a reservation, we had to wait. It seems everyone wants to experience this place, and for good reason. Their seafood paella is a masterpiece. Saffron rice loaded with shrimp, clams, mussels, squid. It's rich, hearty, and absolutely worth every minute of the
Sunday
wait.
morning, we visited Castillo de San Marcos.
As a U.S. veteran, I actually got in free and could bring 3 guests too.
Big win. This place is incredible.
You're literally walking through 300 years of history. We were lucky enough to catch a live cannon firing demonstration. The blast echoed across the bay, and the energy was electric. Just imagine being a soldier back then, defending this
I
fort.
made sure to visit Villa Zoraida, a palace inspired by Spain's Alhambra.
With its Moorish revival architecture, it instantly brought me back to my years in Bahrain. Built in 1883 in St. Augustine, Florida, this mansion was originally the winter home of Franklin W. Smith and now serves as a museum showcasing rare antiques and stunning architectural details that immerse visitors in its rich history.
Our final stop was the Cathedral Basilica of St. Augustine.
Peaceful, majestic, and filled with light. It's the perfect ending to a trip through a city that's deeply spiritual and historical.
So if you're craving a weekend of charm,
History, flavor, and a few ghost stories, St. Augustine delivers. Its streets may be old, but they're full of life. Its walls may be ancient, but trust me, they still whisper.